Hey, Liam Ward here at LearnTheHarmonica.com. Today we're learning Muddy Waters' Louisiana Blues. If you enjoyed today's lesson, please click like, share this video and subscribe to my channel for free harmonica lessons every single week. This lesson is part of my crowdfunding perks, and this one is especially for Joseph Cosmer. Thank you, Joseph, for supporting my crowdfunding campaign, and I hope you enjoyed today's lesson. So we're using a D harmonica. We're playing in second position, so that means the key of A. Don't worry if that doesn't mean anything to you. You can still follow the tab and play along with me. I'm assuming it's Little Walter playing on this Muddy Waters track, but I'm not 100% sure, and I haven't done any research to clarify that, so I'd like it if someone could tell me in the comments if this is Little Walter. But it's some pretty cool playing, and it's got some nice little suggestions that it might be him, just because it's kind of varied and creative, and that's something that I want to put into today's lesson. So I've selected one lick that he uses in this song. That sort of thing, and we're going to look at that in detail. The reason I've just chosen one lick to look at out of this whole song is partly because it's repeated a lot of times in the song, so it's something that's really crucial to this song, but also it's not played the exact same way every time. It's got all sorts of variety in it. There's different note selection, there's textures like tongue slaps, there's double stops, there's all sorts of stuff. There's kind of wahs, hand wahs and slaps as well. So it's a really good context in which to practice using all your different textures. It's kind of a canvas on which you can practice your painting, rather than being in and of itself something that is a big kind of piece of music. Obviously it's just one single line. At the moment I seem to be having a phase where I'm really obsessed with textures and trying out lots of different things on a simple little line. So I hope you'll come along for that ride with me and enjoy it as we go. So let's look at the basic tab to begin with, and then we'll talk about how we can try and vary that as well. So the very basics of it, I've got 4-draw bend into a 4-draw and then 5-draw, and then 4-blow, and then 2-draw, 2-draw full step bend, 2-draw again. So that in and of itself, just the basic single notes, is a really, really cool lick. So if I just start playing that to a beat, you can hear it's pretty tasty. Okay, so if you just want to learn that lick and play it along with the song, it's played at the start of the song, it's played as part of the solo later, it's also played in between the vocal lines. It's a great thing to just learn kind of as is, and it locks in with the guitar rhythm part as well. But what I really want to get onto in this lesson is varying that in subtle ways, using the things that the harmonica is really good at, textures, and we can also talk about adding and removing notes from that lick just to make it that little bit more interesting and to add some variety, some spice to your playing. So let me give you some examples of just varying that in different ways. I'm not sure how I'm going to vary them right now. I'm just going to improvise as I go, and then we'll talk about those techniques after. So I'm just going to play it a few times and vary it as I go. Okay, so completely improvised, but I was putting in a lot of the things that I really want to talk to you about today. So let's break those down, take them slowly, and talk about the different things I was doing. So of course we've just got those single notes to begin with. So one thing we can do right away is start to muddy some of those notes. Muddy waters, muddy notes, why not? So we could put in a 4 and a 5 draw instead of a clean 5 draw, okay? So instead of, we might kind of dirty that. And that just changes it suddenly, just like that. It makes it grittier, bluesier. That doesn't mean it's better and we have to put that in, but it's a great alternative, something that you can put in for variety. So you could, or even better perhaps, would be to put a 2-5 draw split, okay? So that relies on getting your mouth over holes 2 to 5 and putting your tongue down the middle so that you get that dirty, okay? And he does that in the song sometimes. And that's a really, really cool thing, really kind of dirty sounding thing. It's actually a flattened 7th interval, if you're interested, and that's what gives it that kind of gritty sound. We could also add some tongue slaps in, so we're not just playing clean single notes. We might the best candidates are the 5 draw and the 4 blow, I think. There's just room for those slaps. Again, that relies on tongue slapping technique. I do have a series of lessons, an e-course on tongue block technique. It starts with just how to tongue block and then how to tongue slap, how to play octaves, tongue flutters, tongue switches, all that kind of stuff. So do follow the link beneath this video if you're interested in that e-course. But don't worry if you're not a tongue blocker or you don't feel confident with those tongue blocking techniques. They're not the be all and end all, and I don't want this whole lesson to be kind of way over your head. So some of the other stuff we can do, well, we can start straight away with getting some wah sounds. So using our hand to get a wah. Now I have a YouTube lesson, a free YouTube lesson on getting a hand wah, so do check that out if you want to learn more. But essentially what I'm doing is cupping, trying to trap the air and then releasing it so that you hear kind of a muted sound and then a louder sound, and you also hear the kind of the sound waves, the air escaping as you release your hand, so you get a wah sound. I'm doing it on every single note there, but you might just want to do certain notes. Again, the notes that there's more space around them perhaps are better candidates, the ones that are held longer or at least there's some space after them. So the 5 draw and the 4 blow would be good again. So, excuse me. So I'm starting the note cupped, closed, and as I play it I release so that you hear that wah. If you release too soon, you'll just hear the free note. If you don't release soon enough, you'll just hear the cupped note. Or, so it's about timing that. Okay, so that's an option to put in there, and there are definitely points in the songs where he's doing a kind of wah wah. There's some repeated lines where he just plays 2 draw again and again and gets a really cool wah on it. It's one of the advantages of when you're playing acoustically as opposed to amplified with a microphone, etc., where you're a bit more restricted in terms of the wah sounds you can get. So yeah, do consider putting that one in. Back to the tongue blocking techniques, you could slap those notes. So again, you might want to do the 4 blow. You could slap any of those notes, but the 4 blow is a really cool one. You get a really rich chord. So if you are able to tongue slap, do consider that as well. I'm aware I'm flying through these. This is really just to give you a little bit of a taster. rather than teaching each technique fully, I just want to get you started, hopefully give you some inspiration and get you going on this. Do let me know how you're doing in the comments beneath the video. So something that takes us a little bit beyond just textures is to consider actually changing what we're doing. Now, something that changes the texture and also changes what we're actually playing would be to alter the last little part of this line. So instead of, we might go something like, what could we do? We could do, okay. And this actually avoids a bend on 2, so if you're not confident with that 2-draw bend, that might be a good idea as well. So what I did there was, yeah, I think that's what I did. So I slapped a 3 blow. So I instead of those last 3 notes, I'm going. So I'm slapping a 3 blow and then I'm slapping a 2-draw. So 3 blow and 2-draw are the same note, and you're going to get a different texture for slapping the 3 blow from the 2-draw because the notes around them are different. So if you can't tongue block and can't slap those notes, I would suggest playing a 2-3-4 blow and then narrowing your mouth to a 3 blow. So and you get a similar sound. You get that chord sound that reduces to a single note. And then the same on 1, 2, 3 draw. So 1, 2, 3 and then narrow to 2 draw. So it has that same rhythm, ba-ba-da, ba-ba-da, as the first tab. That's what we did before. But this time we're going. Slow it down, we get. So that would be a simple way of changing both the texture and slightly what we're doing. We've no longer got that 2-draw bend note in there. Some of the other changes of notes that I did at the start were completely improvised, but the ideas around them were just adding in notes to fill some of the space. So what I've done there, so instead of leaving space after the 5-draw before the 4 blow, I've put a 4-draw bend, 3-draw in between the 5-draw and the 4 blow. I hope that makes sense. So, okay. And then I've played a 3-draw with a semitone bend, maybe put a bit of a 4-draw in there, kind of double stop, dirty note. And then played my 2-draw bend, 2-draw. So. At least I think that's what I played because I improvised it. So I think it was something around that. I'm not sure I played that exact phrase at the start of the lesson, but I think that's what I just played then. Again, it's not about exactly what I was doing. I was picking bluesy notes. Those notes are part of either a kind of 7 chord or the blues scale, if you like. So I'm kind of thinking of the chords, thinking of the scales, but it's more about finding your own phrases that you want to do, or your own extra notes to add to this phrase. So the notes in and of themselves aren't that crucial. I was also slapping some of those notes, so I was combining some of the earlier textures that I talked about. So these aren't things either or. You can change them as and when you think is appropriate. So to recap, we have got the basic single note lick. We've also got options of double stops, so dirtying that note. We can also play octave, so in this case the 2-5 draw kind of dirty note. We can slap some of these notes or all of the notes. We might actually want to change the texture by moving that 2 draw with the bend note to a 3 blow and switching that up a little bit. And then beyond that, we can actually start to add in extra notes. We could also substitute notes. So you might start to just play different stuff. So take that lick and turn it into something else. That's getting away from kind of variation and more towards creating your own thing. And there's a grey area between what counts as a variant of the original lick and then just your own new lick. And it's not for me to say exactly where that line is, but you could push it further and take that lick and create your own licks. So that's also an option beyond the kind of scope of this lesson today, so do try that out. As I said, this is a canvas upon which to work your own ability, so I hope that you've been inspired to try out some things with this lick today. If you have enjoyed this lesson, please click like, share this video, and most of all, subscribe to my channel for free harmonica lessons every single week. I will be back with another harmonica lesson very, very soon. In the meantime, do give me your comments, your questions, your harmonica queries. You can put comments beneath the video. You can also email contact@LearnTheHarmonica.com, and you can find me on Facebook, Twitter and Instagram. Just search LearnTheHarmonica.com on those websites. We have a great community of harmonica players from absolute beginners up to professionals. So do join our discussions on those websites because you'll learn a lot more there as well. Until I see you again, enjoy your practice and I'll see you very, very soon. Cheers.